And so, let me just introduce our first group. Let's welcome Angela. And I think she's online now. Let's check. All right. Angela, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes. So now is my presentation. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. What? Angela? Yeah, Angela, can you hear me? Emily? Could you turn off the video first?
Yes. Yes. Doing well.我的 PPT 怪怪的。我想要 video， 可以吗？哦，因为我想要我的 video 搭配我的那个影片比较顺。
Okay, so can you hear me? Can you hear me as well? Alright, this is a problem we met several times during these days, that something will happen that you didn't expect it. Okay. Yeah, but the internet can work now. Okay.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So can I start?
Yeah, now please.
Okay.
Sound and emotions. Everyone makes a circle first, and then we have to read out loud our names. For example, my name is Angela, and I have to read out loud Angela with different sounds and different emotions. And my friend is she also has to speak out loud her English name. Emily, or other things, and we will have and I also.
So let's see. Yes. Yes. Let's see. Yes. Can you see? Okay. But can you see my PowerPoint? No. Can you see my PowerPoint? No. Okay.
That's what we did this summer in America, that our cloud partners keep trying using the cloud.
Now can you see? Now can you see my PowerPoint? Yes. That's it. So first thing I want to introduce is about reader theater. At first, my students do not know how to act out this with emotion. So I teach them to practice math method. And gradually, my students are improving. So let's see what they do in the beginning. So in the beginning, their voices are very small and learn math method, and after practicing, they gradually become better. With the emotion is getting better. And the second thing I'd like to introduce about what I learned in Western WWU is about the tableau. How the story we are going to teach is how the Grinch stole Christmas. We using about a bubble. So students who act out the scene do not have to speak. Likely in this picture, the teacher will ask other students instead of the students on the stage. So students don't feel very nervous when they act out this story, and the other students can think about this story. The app Go Noodle. In this website, you can just Google Go Noodle, and there are are many interesting films in this website. Yes. So in this semester, I let my students do the gondola dancing. In the beginning of the class, and my students love it very much. Especially love this group. Okay, so I just want to show you how did my students dance. They are dancing banana willow. They are second graders, and in class they always do the And the next thing I'm going to share is about what did Corinne teach my students. I think it's a good experience for me to have Corinne be my partner because she gave us a lot of cultural input. For example, she taught my students about Halloween, and she uses authentic materials to tell students how do they celebrate Halloween in America. And my students practice some conversations with Corinne. So, this is Corinne. So, she's so beautiful and she's very nice, very patient to my student. And first lesson she taught about my student is about sport. She taught about the Seattle Founders, the football, basketball, soccer, and a lot of things. So my students culture, and they are really excited to play many sports. And the next thing Corinne told my students about Halloween. Most of us as an English teacher know about all of these kind of candies. For example, like this candy up here, this is corn candy, and this is new to me and even to my students. Next is all kinds of food anyway. And last time, Corinne told us about Thanksgiving. She also present how they celebrate Thanksgiving. They will have a parade or Thanksgiving dinner. After Thanksgiving dinner, they play poker games. And she even played poker game with my student. I think it's very successful. And next, she's going to teach about Christmas in Valley. Okay, so we are very excited to have her in our school. And finally, I'm going to talk about the teacher inquiry project. At first, I want to deal with the problem that some of my students do not like English. English. I think English is not important. They don't have to speak answers me because I think English is really important. Maybe one day they will run an internet business instead of just staying in China for their entire life. So my invention would be I design some interesting activities for my students and to arouse their learning motivation, to let them do the group dancing, and I ask my students to do the word concept sorting, something like that. And I collect the data from videos, as you see, and some teaching picture taking. And finally, my concern is, will my students like these activities that I designed or not? Will they get involved in class? So, in the beginning of the semester, I do word concept sorting. I give my students all vocabulary flashcards. I ask the students to divide this flashcard into different categories. For example, I told my class is learn rate, so they learn about the vocabularies, about feelings, about appearance, about color, and about weather. So all the students, when they get the flashcard, they were familiar with the vocabulary because they already they have a great understanding of what will we learn during this semester. So I think this is a good activity. Moreover, I let my students to do the Google dance in the beginning of the class, and most of them love this. They even ask me to let them dance when they have break time or PE class. Moreover, I use Tableau to learn vocabulary. For example, I ask my students to act out a thing of the vocabulary. When I teach about feelings, the word is not so good. I will ask my students to pretend to act out how can they express or how will they use this phrase or word. So when they act out the word not so good, and I will one student pretend she is a patient, and the other student pretends she was a doctor. So I use the talking bubble to ask other students, and to point to the doctor's student to ask other students, what is the doctor thinking, or how will the doctor say? And these are the students' responses about Korea. They think they can learn English from American people. She is very happy, and she currently the board game with them. She thinks it's very interesting. These are the response I asked them to write down in their midterm. So they wrote a lot. Okay, so this is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so everybody doesn't just say goodbye. See you next time, just like students did. Okay, so this is kind of the way we use when we're doing the cloud project, that the cloud teachers just share their screens and the students listen and interact with the teacher. Alright, so one thing I learned from this is that always stay flexible. Yeah, just in the beginning we feel very frustrated, but later we think it's okay. Right, so later we will have Emily.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Emily. I'm from Taiwan Elementary School, which is in Yunlin County. And there are about 58 students in my school. And Also, I'm the only English teacher in my school, so I have no one to discuss my English lesson plan, or I have no one to discuss how can I improve my English teaching. So if you have a similar situation just like me, I think this program might be very helpful to you. Okay? And so today, let's begin with our topic. Today I'm going to share some activities which is about listening and speaking. How can you improve students' listening and speaking ability? And this is my outline. First part, I will introduce teacher strategy I have learned in West Washington, which is concept sorting. It's really helpful in introduce a list of vocabulary to students. And second one, the digital app, I will introduce app puzzle. Maybe some teachers you may have already noticed. And third part is webcam teaching. I will going to share some activities we have do in our call lesson, and also how my students have changed after they doing the webcam teaching. And the last part is my teacher inquiry project. It is about what difficulty do I have in my English teaching, and what I have done, and how do I change, how do I improve my English teaching. So let's begin the concept sorting part. Alright, first thing, concept sorting is a comprehension strategy we use to familiarize students with the vocabulary of a new topic or book. For example, if you want to share a new book, such I will introduce this later, or you want to tell a new story for students, but this is a problem. There are a list of vocabulary the student may not know. So my students may have difficulty in understanding the story. What can we do? So first thing you can do is you can pick those vocabulary from the story to make these word cards. There will be a picture and an English word on it. And after that, you give all those cards to each group of students, and they have to sort those cards into noun, verb, or adjective. So students they have to discuss with each other what does this mean by telling the picture, and they have to do a sorting. After they sort those pictures, the teacher is Matt, the American teacher in the West Washington, and he teaches us how to do a concept sorting, and he asks Sophia to just go on stage and just to share, Sophia, how do you sort those words into noun, adjective, and verb? And after you do this, after the students share her ideas, and you can check, students, do they have a wrong understanding about those words, or what those words mean, to explain it one more time. So okay, now let's see what I have done. And around November, we have a Thanksgiving topic, and I shared this book. I strongly recommend this book because the story is about a turkey trouble. This turkey, he got a trouble that the Thanksgiving is approaching, so it's going to become a Thanksgiving dinner on the table. So this turkey, he's just trying so hard to pretend to be several kinds of animals just to escape from being eaten. So I have picked about 16 vocabulary, and I made those words cards just like this. I put those words cards in a bag and give each group of students a bag of this vocabulary, but I don't ask my students to sort those words into noun, verb, or adjective. I ask my students to do this word like, if you think those vocabulary they share the similar concepts, such as, for example, there may be an animal sound, right? Or there may be some emotion, verb, just like what they say. They can do this kind of sorting. And after that, I ask my student, this is what they're doing, and I ask them how do they sort. And some students, they may not really understand what does this mean, but they can just make a wrong guess. And I will explain it one more time. Yeah, after all this activity, it takes me about 10 minutes to do this activity. But why do I do this? Why don't I just directly introduce those vocabulary? Because I think during these activities, students will discuss, they will guess what does those vocabulary mean, and they will share ideas with each other, even though maybe it's wrong. But I think they do this discussion, and they even have a better impression about all those words. Okay, so that's really helpful. You have to introduce a list of vocabularies. That's really helpful. And the next one is ED puzzle, add puzzle. And first thing you have to do is you can find the video on YouTube, or you can upload the video you have taken on the internet. And first thing you do, you have to edit the video to what length you want or which part you want to begin. And second part is you can record your own voice to cover the original one if this video is not in English. And the most important part is that you can insert some questions in the video, some comprehension questions in the video. And I think it's really good because they have open questions. You can type the question in, answer in it. And there's the closed questions. You can have some choices for students to choose. And the last part, you can share the link to your classroom, to your class, or even you can share a link to everyone you want to share. So now let's see what I have done. Also, it's about this book, Turkey Travel. And after I do the concept story, I have my students do a story prediction. What do you see on the cover of this book? And what might happen about the story? After I do the story prediction, I have played the easy puzzle video. So now we can see it together. Just pay attention, okay? I will ask a question.
Turkey Trouble by Wendy Silvano.
Okay, now oh, you don't see that? Oh my gosh.
Turkey was in trouble, bad trouble, the kind of trouble where it
Okay, so let's see what time here. We just missed the first question. Can we go back? Yeah. Okay, so now let's keep repeating the question.
by Wendy Silvano.
Okay, now when the question pop out, I will ask my student to read the questions with me. Can you see all of the questions? Can we read it with me? Okay, ready, you go. What trouble does this turkey have? And after reading, maybe I will explain these questions, and I have my students to discuss in group. I think it's a prediction question. So which answer do you think it is? It is Thanksgiving, very nice. So you can just choose this. Okay, and let's see one more, okay? Yeah, that's a correct one. Okay?
Turkey was in trouble, bad trouble, the kind of trouble where it's almost Thanksgiving and you're the main course. But Turkey had an idea. What if he didn't look like a turkey? What if he looked like a horse? Surely Farmer Jake wouldn't eat a horse for Thanksgiving.
Okay, can you read a question with me? Why does a turkey pretend to be a horse? And I will explain a little bit. And which answer do you think it is? Why does the turkey pretend to be a horse? First one? Okay, let's see. Is it correct? Yes, it's correct. Okay, so let's just start this. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, so after all those comprehension questions, and students will find the story more understandable. Okay, so why do I use Edpuzzle instead of I just read these books to my students directly? First thing is that because I want my students to hear more about the native speaker's accent instead of just Taiwanese teacher's accent. And second one is that because I don't have to make the worksheet, the question worksheet, because the question just pop out on the screen. So I can only do this activity during the class, and I think it's really eco-friendly. Okay, so this is a really useful tool for teachers and students. And the next part is about webcam teaching with Corinne. And I picked my 6th graders to have a cloud lesson. There are 30 students of them, and there are many characteristics of my students. First thing is that 2/3 of my students, they only learn English in school, only in my English class. Second one is they have little chance to speak English, and most importantly, they are afraid of making mistakes. So every time I try to speak a lot of English to them, and it's respond me in Chinese, or even they just keep their mouth shut because they're so afraid of making mistakes. But reason why I choose this class as my cloud lesson class, because first thing, they are very energetic, and second one is they have a lot of curiosity. Okay, so let's see what I have done with Corinne's class. First thing, because I think the purpose of cloud lesson is that we can have a lot of communication with our cloud partners. So first thing, I have my students, each of students, to think one question they want to ask Corinne, and I make this worksheet. I collect all the questions to make a worksheet, and after that, of course, I have to give Corinne these questions in advance because she have to give me an answer first and make a PowerPoint. Okay, and also Corinne will give me some possible answers, and then she will make the students to guess what is the correct answer. For example, as we can see number 7, one student she want to ask that, Corinne, if you have $1 million, what will you do? And Corinne gave 4 possible answers. First thing is she want to buy a house, to buy an island, to donate to a poor, and to give to parents. And I have my students, they have to write down their answers. They did the possible answers on the board and show Corinne. And all the students they guess that Corinne will donate the money to the poor. But do you remember her answer? She will give all $1 million to her parents. And no student will believe that. It's impossible, okay? So I think it's really interesting activity because all students is trying to ask Corinne questions, and I try to communicate with Corinne and guess what is the real answer. Okay? And the next activity is we have a topic about country. So now I have 3 students in a group. They have to choose their favorite country, and what they have to do is they have to search what is a famous spot or what famous food in their favorite country, and they have to organize it and have to assign who have to share which part to Corinne. And this is Corinne, and they're just trying to sharing the idea with Corinne, and it takes a lot of time to prepare and to practice, but I think it's worth it because after this cloud lesson, students says, I think it's the first time I speak so much English in this class. I think yes, you did it, you really did it. And the student has a sense of achievement. Okay, and the next part is when we have a topic about transportation, because I know Corinne will come to Taiwan someday, and I have told my students. So I say that maybe students, you can help Corinne that I give you a timetable, flight timetable, and high-speed rail timetable, and you have to understand those timetable and to help Corinne to make a plan how she can get to Taiwan from Seattle. So it's really hard for them because they have to understand what's departure, what's arrival, what's airline flight, and model weekly schedule, something like that. But because they're really looking forward to Corinne's coming, so they try so hard to understand, to discuss with each other, what does it mean, and they have to complete all these worksheets just by students, by themselves. And I think it's a really challenging task for them, but I think it's really useful, and it's a really practical practice for them to learn the transportation topic. Okay, and I think the benefit is that it's their first time to speak so much English, just like what I said. And it's their first time to share in English, because I used to have them to work individually, because they're so easy to fight together. So I just say, okay, just each one you have to do your own task. But this time, because they know that it's no use to argue, because they have to share with Corinne. So they just try so hard and practice so much just to make a better performance. Okay. Wow, so quick. Faster. Okay. And our last part is my teacher in group project. And what my concern is that my students, they avoid using English to communicate and the lack of English inputs because when I want to use 100% English in my classroom, and my students, they are all begging me, please don't, no more English, too much. Okay, calm down. Okay, and they are willing to try new things because I have a lot of tasks for them, but they just, teacher, no, I don't want to do this. Okay, and my intervention is, first thing is that I never give in to my students' request. If they're begging me, no way, okay? And also I'm trying to encourage students to open their mind, to do more things they have never done before. And also I will provide more speaking opportunities to every student. And let's see what I have done. First thing, what I have mentioned before, project tasks. I have my students, they have this one poster they have made. They just want to introduce to Corinne. And they have searched the information on the internet. They practice a lot of speaking. And the second one is that lesson record. I have learned it from Lori. And when do I do this? Every 5 minutes before break, every period, I have my 3rd to 6th grader. What do they have to write down? First thing, they have to write what date. I will ask them, today is December or November. They will say, okay, December. And what date? December 17th. They have to write down. And what day is today? Tuesday, Monday, or Wednesday? They have to spell all the words out. Also, what page? They have to write in English. And what we have in this class, they have to practice a lot of writing. Because my students, I don't know why, they hate writing English so much. So I just want them to practice a little bit writing at every period. And the next thing I have done is that not only for my 6th graders, but also I have encouraged my 4th grader students. They can bring their family pictures, and they have to share some sentence pattern we have done. For example, this is my mother. She is tall and beautiful, and she is 35 years old, something like that. They have to combine all the sentence pattern they have learned. And at first, I think that maybe my students will be very shy and they will reject to doing it. But it turns out opposite because they all like to share. You can see that. This is a shy boy in my class. He also go on stage and to share. And all the classmates, they are so interested about their family. I think that works a lot. So, yeah. And this is all the pictures that Corinne come to our school. And I also, this is 5th graders. I asked them to teach Corinne how to write a calligraphy, and they have to explain in English. It's really challenging. Also, I have my 6th graders to teach Corinne how to play a Taiwanese poker card, and also explain in English. It's a little difficult. Yeah, so I think I'm very proud of my students because I think teacher, you need to give them more space, more stage to show what they have got. So your student will do it very well. Okay, and that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. So I think, Corinne, you can just set your PPT file first. So yeah, right. Children love picture books. I tried once in my class that even a 7th grader in junior high school, they love storytelling too. Right. And then I think that students, why they're so shy because they are afraid of making mistakes. But we have to tell them that you don't have to be perfect. So let's just keep trying. And next one, we'll have Corinne.
Hello everybody, my name is Corinne Tubbs. I'm a senior at Western Washington University and I study linguistics, TESOL, and Japanese. The Cloud Project. In the Cloud Project, I'm a cloud partner, and my main responsibility is that I do online English lessons with Emily and Angela's class, and a few times a month, or it's been about since May, so about 8 months. Pictures. The one with the banner is at our Bellingham conference. Down at the bottom corner is when we were planning our lessons outside closing Emily's class. So Emily's class is a group of 13 sixth grade students. And here are pictures of us after our Halloween lesson in October. Emily's school is in Greenland, and this is where I've been for the last 4 days. In our video lessons, we covered activities like daily routines, that was fun, transportation, and American culture. Angela's class is 7th graders, and they're so energetic and lively, and I'm so excited to meet them in person. That's where I'll go tomorrow to her school. And in our video lessons with them, we go over more simple things like we play alphabet, songs, play games, and I also teach them about American culture with the same PowerPoint presentations will be simplified for them. Here's some pictures of when the Taiwanese teachers went to Bellingham. In the top corners is that closing lunch where the teachers got their certificates. In the middle bottom picture is at the Bellingham conference. And then the darker pictures are when we took them to see some cool things in Bellingham. Taiwan. Here are pictures from this last week at Emily's school. I really liked going to her school. In the top left corner is all the kids who had gathered in the morning before school starts. And here's in the middle top is from our Christmas lesson we did reindeer hats, and they really liked doing those. And then other pictures, like in the bottom left corner, is when I went to, on Thursday, we went to the Chimay Museum. And that's actually the first day that I met the students in person. And it was very interesting to see, to meet them not in the classroom in person, to meet them outside the classroom in person, because it wasn't a complete school setting. And seeing them adjust to trying to talk to me, because they're like, okay, she's here. And they look me straight in the eyes and speak to me in Chinese. I don't know Chinese. They look at me like this and they talk and I don't know what they're saying, and I look at them like, and they're like, okay, this isn't working. And they use so many gestures and they got it, and I could understand what they're saying. So even on the first day, seeing that was very entertaining, and I was proud. And then the bottom pictures on the right side and in the middle, we're playing games and reading stories. And I want to share with you some of that Christmas lesson.
I know it's
Santa again.
So let me explain a little bit. So Emily and I would hide picture flashcards from this book around the room. And on in the book, some of the words have been replaced with pictures. So the pictures that they found, if it came up in the story, they'd have to hold it up and say, Santa, I found this one.
He is coming down our
What's this?
how do you say that?
Chimney. Chimney, yes.
Where the fire
Yeah.
goes.
Chimney.
See? This is a chimney. Oh, is it Santa?
Is it Santa, yes or no? Santa?
Who's that?
Santa. Good job.
Is that you?
Santa!
No, says Daddy.
No.
I took out the trash. You take your garbage. The wind blew the
Door? Who have a door?
shut.
Nói again.
Go back to bed.
Good job, Mila. Good. Go back to
Go
bed.
back to bed.
Next, I want to share what I learned in Taiwan the past few days. It's about student life because I was very surprised at normal things that happen at their schools that don't happen in American schools. So first of all, everyone meets together in the morning, and the principal and the teachers talk to them, and then they all exercise and stretch together. I've never seen this before. If you asked an American in the school to all meet in front and exercise, they'd look at you like you're crazy. Like, I'm not exercising. And then they eat their lunch together in the classroom. That surprised me. And then they had me sit in the middle, this bottom middle picture. They're like, sit here, sit here, sit here. Okay. I sat down and they brought me some food, and I was like, okay, how do I eat this? I'm not good at chopsticks. They're gonna laugh at me. It's okay. I didn't accidentally. I mixed it all together, and I guess I wasn't supposed to by their faces, but it was still delicious. And then after lunch, they started getting out their toothbrush. I said, why do you have toothbrush at school? Why did you bring your toothbrush to school? Why do you have toothpaste? And they go outside and they brush their teeth after lunch. And it's very hygienic. And then a couple of classes after lunch, there was a little bit of a break time. And I was with Emily in the teacher's office, and then a 6th grade student came up to me and said, Corinne, will you come to my class? It's nap time? And I laughed because I thought it was a joke. Nap time? Are you serious? She's like, yeah. Emily's like, yeah, it's nap time. And I was like, it's nap time, okay. And so I went to the class, and they're all laying out mats for them to sleep on, and we laid down and we took a nap. And I was very surprised. And even the teachers are on their desk taking a nap like this. I was very surprised. Also, the kids cleaning their own school shocked me. In America, you clean up after yourself at your desk, maybe just your desk. Maybe in America, cleaning up anything other than your desk is maybe a punishment. So when I saw, and then the day I was at for school, it was outside cleaning day. All the kids ran and grabbed rakes and buckets, and I've never seen this before. If you asked an American student to clean the inside of their classroom, they'd look at you like you're crazy, but if they say, if you have to clean the outside of your school, maybe you go home, like nobody's gonna clean the outside. So, and they all grabbed rakes. I was taking videos, I was so shocked. The kids raking up their school. And then the last thing that surprised me was that kids go to cram school after their normal school for up to maybe 4 hours more. And I already thought that their school day was long enough. It was very long, so, and that surprised me because they're so young too. Like maybe the older kids I could understand, the very younger kids too. I think, are they tired? Maybe that's why they take naps at school. And then, improvements for the future of the cloud project. From my personal opinion, I think that possibly a different season for the American pupils who come here to teach. As a student, personally, we left on the Monday of finals week, and so I had to cram all my finals into Monday, and that was stressful because I wanted to be prepared for Taiwan and I wanted to be prepared for my finals, so if it were a little bit more spaced out. Also, there are many holidays in the December season. I know we get back in time for Christmas, but Hanukkah is happening. And if it ended in person here, it would be great because it's very personal when I say goodbye at the schools. And instead of going home and doing one more lesson. Thank you so much.